I know what you're thinking. $1 million a month is a lot of money. And how can a business even get to that level starting from zero? Well, in today's video, I'm going to demystify the idea that an overnight success like this exists because actually, this isn't an overnight success. The brand that I'm going to break down here for you has been through a long, painful journey, but with a happy ending at the end. The story of this brand is incredible, and we're going to talk about it so that we can learn basically what it takes to build a massive community, a very close-knit community for an e-commerce product. We're also going to learn how to market a product. So we're going to talk about all those things very briefly. So this is going to be basically like an open lecture here between you and I to figure out how this brand made it to $1 million a month. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Let's go. So the brand I'm talking about is called Karuma. And if you've never heard of them, it's likely because you're not a skateboarder. So this is a skateboarding shoe. So I've known about this. I skateboard myself. You see a blank deck right there. It's actually not a blank deck. It's a Baker deck for those of you that know skate brands. And I've seen this brand literally for a decade probably. So this brand has been trying to infiltrate the skate scene for over a decade. And by the way, this is a Shopify store, of course. Every business out here these days that is killing it in e-commerce is on Shopify. So make sure that if you do have an idea for your own store, start your store today with the Shopify link in the description. It's a really great deal, and it's going to help you save a lot of money if you actually want to get your business running. But what's truly impressive about this business is the niche category, because a lot of people would say, well, skate shoes, that's like a pretty small group of people, right? Like targeting skateboarders. Why wouldn't you just make a shoe for everybody? And that's the first lesson here. Niching down is not a bad idea, especially because you can build a really tight-knit community, especially in the skate scene. However, for them, it was really difficult because skateboarders are super opposed to change. Like, they are very much concerned about this, the style, like the culture, and this breaks all of those rules, right? This is just kind of like an eco-friendly shoe that lasts a long time. It doesn't really look that cool. So that breaks like all of skateboarding's commandments, basically. However, through continuous effort, I remember seeing these guys sponsoring every skate channel imaginable. Over time, they began to infiltrate the culture. And by infiltrating the culture, they were able to create a massively successful business. Now, here's the thing. This is the second lesson. They actually did solve a massive problem. And it wasn't the fact that skateboarders didn't have shoes that they could wear that were good, right? Because there's tons of skate shoe brands out there. The problem that they solved is that shoes in skateboarding are actually super wasteful, because if you don't know, the way that you do tricks is by sliding your foot off of the grip of the board, which is kind of like sandpaper. So over time, your shoes get extremely worn down and you got to throw them away. So, even myself, I've probably gone through dozens and dozens of shoes over my life because of skateboarding. And that's what they're trying to help fix. So they're making eco-friendly shoes that last a long time. So all of their shoes, well, maybe not their newest ones, but their main one, so this is kind of the main shoe that they came up with a while ago. It has some extra support, first of all, so that they last a long time. But then they also have this component of planting a tree whenever you buy a pair of shoes. It's actually quite simple. Almost anybody could do this. So buy one pair, plant 2 trees. That's a really, really great commitment to have on their store. To me, this is a genius example of a business that found a niche problem and solved it and capitalized on it in a massive way, and is slowly changing the landscape for that particular niche as a whole. It's super cool to see, and it kind of makes me think about how you can do this for other categories, for other passion groups of people. Maybe you're a part of one of those passion niches. And what are some things that are underserved? What are some problems that those people are facing that you could fix and that needs to be fixed? That's actually probably the most important thing, is that it needs to be fixed. There's some urgency attached to it. I actually learned that from a Harvard business lecture, which, by the way, I'm planning on doing some streams reacting to Harvard business lectures and taking notes and giving those notes to the ChemiLab members. But I'll be doing those streams here on YouTube for free, of course, since the Harvard business lectures that I found are free. But I will say, if you want to support the channel and support my business and what we're doing here, make sure that you check out the Actionable. This is where I get basically all of the research that I post on my channel. And this is one of the things that we found is the actual metrics behind this business. And we posted it in the Actionable. Of course, we got a research team in here and a whole community stacked on top. It's super cool. You can check it out in the description. But really, the lesson here is, first of all, if you're part of a niche, find problems that you're facing that you need solved ASAP. Number two, build a community around that. Try to send your product to people within that community. Since you know that they have that problem, then they're going to be likely to want to post about it. So that's extremely powerful. If you order inventory, for example, maybe you're not running a drop shipping store, so you actually have to order inventory. Allocate at least 20 products, let's say, that you're going to send to people for free within your niche, because you know that they likely have the problem that you're solving, so they're likely to want to speak about it to their communities. This is a powerful thing that it doesn't scale super well at first, but if you do this over time, let's say over 2 months, you actually may build some momentum that you didn't think was possible. So that's what this game is all about, and life in general, I've noticed, is all about, is building momentum, finding things that you can compound on, finding things that you can actually stick to for a long period of time and actually build recurring customers for. That's how you build a massive business. And this is an example of that. And it's one that's very creative, because people do actually need shoes over and over again, especially in the skate world. So they build a recurring revenue model basically through a super original niche that had a very specific problem that needed to be solved ASAP. And they did it. So really cool story here. Tons of lessons to learn here. We just went over them. Let me know if you have any questions or any more things you want to add on to this in the comments. We can continue the conversation there. And you can also join the Actionable if you want to join another deeper conversation. I'm active in there every single day. But that's about it. Peace.